Silver can make it rain. I bet you didn't know that. Well, in this video, we're going to explore that and other facts that likely you've never heard before. So without further ado, let's get it on. Silver has been around for thousands of years. Now that is a fact that likely you have heard before, especially many of you in this community, when we talk about silver a lot. But I hope you will consider sharing this video with others on other social media platforms to get the word out about silver, because it is a metal that is growing in importance, not only in industry, but also as a metal to help preserve your wealth in the fight against inflation from the dollar. And these facts that I'm going to share with you are quite unusual. Now, there are many facts about silver that a lot of people don't know, and some of these facts I'm going to be sharing with you in this video you may have heard of. But I'm curious to see how many of you know about all of the facts I'm going to be sharing in this video, because I'm making a pretty strong claim here that these are facts that most of you don't know. Now, let's get into the start of silver. Silver's been around for thousands of years, as I mentioned before, but it wasn't until about 3000 BC when we found out that slag dumps that were found in Asia Minor and on islands in the Aegean Sea suggested that humans, that's when they first started to separate silver from lead. And that dates back, according to archaeological records, to about 3000 BC. Now we know what happened at around 700 BC is when they actually used silver as money. And its first form was in the form of argentum, the mixture of gold and silver. And that was when it was used for coins in Lydia, which is in Turkey. Now, approximately 30% of all silver is produced from primary silver mining. That the majority of the ore is comprised of silver mineralization, but 70% of the silver produced is as a byproduct of mining base metals like copper, lead, and zinc. And these mining companies that produce these primary silver miners, we've heard of the big names like Hecla, Coeur Mining, and Pan American Silver, and others. But they derive only 20 to 30% of their revenues from silver production, with a balance coming from gold and other base metals. And so that is a thing. Even the primary silver mines, they are not the, they produce other metals as well too, to keep the things going, even as a primary silver mine. But the only pure silver producer out there is Aya Gold and Silver in Morocco. It's kind of interesting that they're the only pure silver producer with a name like Aya Gold and Silver. And they're out of Morocco in Africa. That is a fact probably a lot of you didn't know about. And of course we know about how silver became demonetized back in the 1800s, the crime of 1873. But central banks do not hold gold in their coffers anymore. They used to hold it as a strategic stockpiles, but no longer do they hold silver in their stockpiles, only gold. And probably most of us knew that, but nonetheless, Poland is a country that has the largest silver mine. And many people think that Mexico is a country with a conglomerate of the silver mining that happens in Mexico. It's probably the largest silver producer, but the largest silver mine is actually in Poland. But this is remarkable, an amazing fact that I had no idea that was the case. And the world's largest silver mining being there, they produced 48.1 million ounces of silver in 2021. Now, another interesting fact about silver is that the compound silver iodide has been used for cloud seeding, and it causes clouds to produce rain to try to control hurricanes. So it literally can make it rain. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that is quite a fascinating fact about this lovely metal, is that it can be utilized in that regard. And we know silver has many other uses. that, from antimicrobial, which is really not a secret. Most people know that, but many people didn't realize that it can actually be used for cloud seeding. Now, the symbolic symbol, or the element symbol for silver, is Ag from the word argentum. But the actual word silver, though, however, is from the Anglo-Saxon word seolfor, which is Seolfor. That's where the actual name comes from. And by the way, that's a fact you may not have known, as well as that the words for silver and money are the same in at least 14 languages. And I tell you, this is why I kind of like the idea of plata pura in Mexico in Spanish. That's why I think the Mexican libertads are so special, because of their deep-rooted history in silver in the New World. Mexico, the Mexican mint is the oldest mint in the Western Hemisphere, and they produce a lot of silver in their day, and still are producing a lot of silver. And it's remarkable, amazing what they have done in Mexico. So that gives you some insight as to how important silver is in industry, science, and technology. What's interesting, though, we know how volatile silver is. Silver is a very volatile metal in terms of its price. We've seen that more and more recently as of late. That's really no secret. Everybody kind of knew that. But did you know that it is literally volatile in terms of its explosive nature? Some silver compounds are highly explosive. Examples include silver fulminate, silver azide, silver oxide, the second, silver amide. So it's silver azide or azide, or silver amide, silver acetate, and silver oxatate. These are compounds in which silver forms a bond with nitrogen or oxygen. Although heat drying or pressure from often ignite these compounds, sometimes all it takes is exposure to light. Some of them may even explode spontaneously. So there is a way where you don't have to worry about clickbait on a video like this, where maybe one of these days I'll do an experiment where silver will explode, and I'll do it on its own spontaneously. Silver really can explode, believe it or not, literally. And so that's a fact probably you didn't know. What is it about silver that kind of, attracts us? Its malleability. It is the second most malleable metal, only behind gold. It can be pounded into sheets thinner than a sheet of paper. And it's pretty remarkable, for sure. And this word for silver, that has been around for so long, being from the Anglo-Saxon, and we know that the Latin word argentum is something that we know as well. Most of us understand that with regards to its chemical symbol there, but it also was derived from arganus, the Sanskrit word. So the argentum word, which is the Latin word for silver, was derived from an earlier word from Sanskrit called arjunus, which means shining. And we know that refers to the reflective nature of the metal. It is the most reflective element out there. And that is something that most of us have known as well, too. We know that this elemental symbol, Ag, is the atomic number 47. Most of us knew that. But many of us didn't know, or don't know, that the atomic weight is 107.8682. Yeah, silver is pretty interesting. It also has a very specific gravity of 10.3, and that's why the specific gravity is probably one of the most basic and foolproof tests for pure silver that you can use out there. I actually did a test on it on this channel years ago, the specific gravity test. So it is unique in that regard in terms of its specific gravity measures. The uses of silver, are in terms of as a currency, as money. In fact, it is referred to as commodity money these days. It does not trade as a currency now, but we know it has uses in dentistry and jewelry. Its antimicrobial properties make it useful for air conditioning and water filtration. It's got mirror coatings photovoltaics for solar energy, and in electronics and for photography, which, by the way, the use of silver in photography is making a comeback. Many probably didn't know that. But yes, actual film photography is making a comeback, kind of like vinyl records have been making a comeback in recent years. So it's pretty amazing. And we know that its a reflective nature is second to none. Now, we know that reflective nature is only as good as the environment that it's in, because silver is definitely a metal that can tarnish. And we've seen that. Some people actually look for these tarnished coins. When you have the nicely toned, tarnish is sort of a negative connotation. So if you enjoy tarnishing, it's called being toned. If you don't like it, toned coins, it's a tarnish, right? And that is the unique nature of silver that is kind of an attractive or repelling nature of the metal, depending on your viewpoint. But we know that the silver eagle is the most widely distributed and the most popular silver bullion coin in the world. And right now it's trading at very high premiums, but many probably knew that. But nonetheless, it is a fact that it is out there that some people probably did not know. Now, the fascinating thing about silver's reflectivity in terms of the visible light spectrum, polished silver, the shiniest of the silver out there. And let's take, for example, I don't have a proof coin right here handy, but the mirrored fields here on this $1 coin almost look black in terms of its reflectivity of the camera. So it has a 95% reflectivity of the natural light of the spectrum of light. However, that is just one spectrum, but it does not reflect ultraviolet light very well. It is a poor reflector of ultraviolet light. Many people probably didn't know that. So there you go. So those are some of the facts that you likely have never heard of before. Now, be honest. In the comment section below, I want you, if you know all of the things that I just told you, let me know in the comments section below. I'm very curious. I know when I did my research on this video that I didn't know some of these facts, and I have been making silver videos for over 10 years now. And so it's always nice to learn something new, even when you're providing content for the viewer. So if you enjoyed this video, again, I will hope you will take the time to share it upon this social media platform and others out there. And I hope you would consider pressing that thumbs up button down below and commenting. Let me know what your thoughts are. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to again encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.